morning, sideline junkies and junkettes. This is the Sunday Rise. Brought to you by us, the Sideline Junkies, in conjunction with Clear Production Sports. I say it every Sunday. Big guy KG, I need my 24 karat collection plate passed around and make sure everybody, this I learned from last Sunday, everybody's going to have a handkerchief. When you touch that collection plate, you wipe your fingers off before you pass it to the next person because you're bringing bad luck with my dirty collection plate. All right? All right? We only taking $5 bills and up, no change. All right? If you got change, you need to pray to the guy below. All right? But good morning, fellas.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Here we are, Sunday morning. Yes, sir. Let's do this today, baby.
I'm not getting in trouble with you gentlemen this morning.
Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. What is your favorite saying? Just hold my coattail on this one. You coming too. You coming too, baby. Oh, yeah. No, you can't,
yes.
You can't dodge that.
Oh. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Another episode of the Sunday Rise, presented to you by the Sideline Junkies in conjunction with Clear Productions. It's me, it's the big guy KG, sitting in with the boss BJ, the man that pays all the bills, the midnight rider, the music enthusiast, probably the biggest Terrence Trent D'Arby fan next to my cousin Kenny. So sign your name across his heart.
Oh,
how y'all
fellas right there. Good morning, sir.
I'm here, man. I'm here. I just got
Hey, greetings and salutations.
He had a young man night last night. He can't do that no more.
Who you
young man's night? Yeah, buddy.
Oh, who you telling, boy?
He was out there sweetle deedle deedle deeing.
Boy, hard. Oh, look at that. Boy,
back in my day, boy, let me tell you something, young fella. Back in my day, I used to do it. I used to make it do what it do.
My man got that carbureted start. It ain't fuel injection today, baby.
No, sir. You know what it sounds like over there? We ain't got it turned over just yet.
Hey, that's that neighbor. That's that neighbor your wife wake you up. Phil's gonna need a ride to work. His car won't start. I can hear it. Just go and get your clothes on.
When I tell you ain't no amount of starter fluid right now, just gotta let it sit.
Let's go, baby.
Just gotta let it sit. So let's jump off in this thing because don't want to take up too much time because we know BJ got to hit the road, so we got to hit some important topics. First and foremost, we always try to get the sad part out first. Yesterday morning, Vikings rookie Kyrie Jackson, his two teammates, Isaiah Hazel, who went to Maryland, and AJ Litton, who went to Bowie State, all passed in a car crash not too far from my home, actually. That's what messed me up. It's like it's really not too far from my home, literally. Details are coming out about what happened, and young lady was driving an Infiniti, and she tried to change lanes at a high speed. She clipped the back of their Charger and sent them over into tree stumps on the right side of the road. They were going north on Pennsylvania Avenue for those from the area. So they were headed back up towards Forestville from Upper Marlboro. Said they had all been out bowling. and she tried to change lanes, and she clipped the back of the Charger they were driving, with Hazel driving, Jackson being in the front passenger seat, and Linton being in the back. And subsequently, she drove them off the road, and they had cut down a bunch of trees along Pennsylvania Avenue. And they did this maybe about a month or two ago, maybe even earlier than that. I think they did it way back at the beginning of the spring. They started cutting down these trees. So their car went into the tree stumps that are left there and wound up on the service road. They say Hazel and Jackson died at the scene. Linton died at the hospital. Fellas, just your thoughts on this. Kyrie Jackson was the rookie that everybody was excited about up in Vikings country. Coaches were excited about him. What are your thoughts here?
So, for me, it kind of hit differently than normal because, like, Tuesday night, I was coming home from work, and when it's the beginning of the month, so we're in that phase where I'm doing late nights, and on my way home, I never forget this image in my head. I'm looking in my rear view, and I see this white car doing at least like 85, 90 coming up behind me. And I'm in the middle lane. I can't go to my left. I can't. If I go to my right, I don't know what to do. And the dude basically gets to my bumper, merges, and then goes past me. But he waited to the very last minute to do that shit. And I was shook for a minute. So I can only imagine like that scene, that incident. And I was actually kind of curious because I also saw another incident later on where 3 young ladies lost their lives in a car crash that same night. And I was curious if that had any connection to the Kyrie thing. But we drive differently now. I mean, we push speed limit, and I'm not trying to be an old man because I don't want to shake my fist at the cloud this early in the morning. Like there's a difference in when it comes to speed, and I don't think everybody respects speed the way we should. And you have to understand that when you're speeding like that, you're the controller now, and you have to maneuver yourself around people. And the fact that she clipped them tells me that she didn't give them either enough distance or she waited till the last minute. So, like, you can't speed just because you want to speed. You got to have some experience or know what you're doing when it comes to that. And I'll leave it at that.
And I want to say something. There's no way in shape or form are we, when we speak on things like speed, like the Midnight Rider speed and judgment, we're not talking this particular thing because we don't have all the details.
Right.
We're talking about what it sounds like, what information we have as of right now. But I will tell you what I see as a professional driver on a daily basis. I see an extreme high rate of speed daily. Not every other day. I'm talking about 80 and a 30. I'm talking about that type of speed. I'm talking about poor judgment, not being able to gauge space,
yes,
which is very important. When you're doing a high rate of speed and timing. Everything is lacking. This is what I see on a daily basis, to a point where it's almost not every day I see that, but maybe once or twice a week where it could have been a second here, second there, very bad fatal accident. And I'm not trying to exaggerate. I see that particular instance maybe once or twice a week. But this is extremely sad. And last night when we were gathering details and stuff, and it was a couple of things on here I wanted to speak on, and I decided not to because TikTok is doing this justice now on the dude. I won't name his name, but it's a lot of pieces of shit out there that Harper, unfortunately, he wasn't a good kid, so this is why this happened type thing. And I think that's just one is irresponsible. Um, and I the crazy thing is, some people could, and this guy in particular, I won't say his name because I don't want to get him no play on here. But he could care less. He's made several videos after that, doubling down, showing his Patreon account where he's getting his money, and that's all that really matters. Um, but when you do stuff like we're doing now, this podcast and stuff, you have a responsibility, and it's a big responsibility to have as many details as you can to form your opinion. This is our opinion when we talk about sports team situations and unfortunately tragic events like this. And like the big guy KG said, the details are still coming out. It seems like, every day another piece adds to it. But you have to keep that in mind and some people don't care. That's the sad thing. Some people don't care. But you have to keep those things in mind when you come on these platforms, and you have to remember 3 families just lost 3 kids. And if you have kids, it's heartbreaking. If you don't have kids, if you have a brother, a sister, we all know somebody that family's life has changed with a drunk driver or just a fatal accident in particular. It doesn't have to be a drunk driver, but unfortunately, the quality of driving in just this area has went down tremendously, to a point where you're out, and it's something you should be doing anyway. You have to actually drive for other people. Like the Midnight Riders example, you have to pay attention to your rearview mirror to make sure you're not about to get rear-ended because somebody's on their phone. It's just it's crazy the level, and I know why, because my oldest daughter just recently got her learner's permit last year before, and they basically it was like, what is this? It's a picture of a cow. What is this? It's a lion. Okay, here's your license. It's definitely not what I went through, what my parents went through when they were trying to. It's not the same, and it's translating out to the road, but it's incredibly sad. It's incredibly sad. The young man in particular for the Vikings I don't think, well, the people that watch this show understand how good you have to be at Alabama. So, and for a defensive coach at that. So that was his first stop. And then you have to understand the discipline and that you have to go to JUCO ball to come back to Oregon.
Right.
It's a lot to unpack right there. And that just shows resilience, discipline, work ethic. That's and I think it was at a grocery store he was at. And it's just like, do you know how many people their pride would get in their way of going back to something like that and would just fall completely off the earth? But to do that and then come back and then go to another top tier school and then sit and get drafted by the Vikings, I think it shows the character and the discipline of that kid and his family and how he was raised. And my condolences go out to all 3 families and all people involved, because everybody involved, the ones that didn't perish, it's going to be very bad memories and stuff from here on out, and a lot of regret and a lot of sorrow. So, big guy.
Gentlemen, here's the thing.
Go ahead. I want you to say your piece, but before we move off of that, let me get one piece back.
Okay. Things like this, everybody always says, cherish the day, and you don't know what day is going to be your last, and you should know that every day. It shouldn't take a tragedy, an accident, a death to let you know that life is short. I say that all the time. Every day you wake up, you got to know life is short. And it's a line in the Nickelback song. It's the first line. My best friend gave me the best advice. Said, today is a gift, not a given right. That's truth. And the pictures that came out of the car, it's like you start to think about it and you say, damn, how fast was she going? How did this happen? How could this be prevented? And you talk about it hitting different. It hit different for me because I was just in an accident a couple of weeks ago. And knowing that it could have went the other way, and you sit there and you like, damn, like, are you serious right now? And it's just, it's sobering. And then having children in the same age range really throws it, into perspective. But to work this hard, and these three gentlemen were a part of 2 undefeated Wise teams in high school. They won state championships. And I thought about that. I said, you know what? This is why a lot of people from the area don't come back home. They kind of either, the people that they're cool with, they bring them to them. They don't come back home because it's like when you come back home, and it seems like we've been hit hard in the PG County area with players that have made it out of the area to go on and do great things, and then they come back home or tragedy strikes and they're gone. It's so tough, man. It's just it's hard to even put it into words, man, but it's sad. And now we got 3 lives gone, all off of a mistake. And BJ talked about driving in the area. And if you live in the PG County, Montgomery County, even the Charles County and Calvert County area, when you're driving, there's certain cars that you see, if you see them in your rear view mirror, you move out of the way. The Infiniti G35s, the Q50s, the Altimas, the Sentras, you move out of the way. The Chargers, the Hellcats, the Challengers, you move out of the way. Immediately move out of the way. And it's sad we got to actually do that, but it's what you got to do. You have to. Midnight Rider.
It's funny that it's not even funny. I'm sorry. That's bad word choice. It's ironic that we're talking about this because I also saw another person post that like kids. She has 3 friends that lost 3 kids in a car accident, and I'm almost concerned to the point where we don't respect the car. Like the fact that we're driving the vehicle with how much it weighs, the damage it can do, and then driving it at a high speed. And I don't want to be the guy that's shaking his fist at the cloud when that comes to this conversation, because I know for a fact if I could do 80 or I could do 100, I would do it. But there's a difference in how we do it. Like I see people driving on the sides of the roads. I see people just doing stuff where it just like they're just driving, and if you don't get out their way, then you're short because they're going to hit you. And I think that's the part that's more somber in the moment, is like they're driving without the responsibility of taking care of the drivers around them. We're more offensive drivers than we are defensive drivers. And I know UNB have done the same thing. Like I remember my days when I did Uber, and like I would watch, and every day I drove Uber, I used to see something crazy. So I can only imagine for you two guys that are on the road on like 8 hours of a day, you're probably seeing 8 to 10 of these incidents where you're watching somebody do something extremely stupid, extremely dumb, and like almost cause an accident, and maybe an accident doesn't happen, and sometimes the accident does happen, and that's the scary part for me. Like as
And add
I'm being able to drive, I get very concerned about that.
and to add to what Midnight Rider's saying, and I spoke of the lack of skills, and I know we got to move off of this, but then a lot of people aren't taking into account their car's abilities to do whatever it needs to do.
Right.
And especially if you're not taking care of your car, worn brakes, worn tires, worn suspension, then your reaction time, nobody's reaction time is the same. If you put 1,000 people in a situation where you're timing their reaction time, you might get a couple of them that might be on the same, but for the most part, everybody's reaction time is different. Everybody's judgment is different. And I think I see cars out here that are on their last leg on the road. And if that car has to make some type of abrupt movement, it's going to probably come apart versus stopping or, um, doing what it's supposed to do. So that's something else that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration when you're doing 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. Now you're asking everything on that car to work when you need it to, and you haven't been taking care of everything on that car. And you don't have the tires to stop as soon as you need to. You haven't done your brakes yet. You don't have it. You needed a strut or a suspension last year. That all plays a big part into you know what goes on when you're trying to maneuver these cars on the road. And like Midnight Rider said, just the respect for the vehicle, respect for other people's vehicle, and that's definitely lacking in today's driving environment in this area. Now I can only speak for this area because that's just where I am right now, but it is it's definitely and like the big guy KG said, it's just certain cars, and I've had to graduate from that because now you can't be prejudiced against the cars because it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
You have to assume that at any time, any car, any person driving it can do something stupid, which will put your life in risk. So don't it is a certain amount of cars that have that higher rate of that, but you have to kind of look across the board now. Just be like, yeah,
I mean,
sometimes you got to take yourself out of it and back off of it or whatever it is.
yeah, there's any car in the morning that you're driving on whatever highway it is, and somebody's driving on the shoulder, somebody's driving in the whatever, and it's not even the sad thing for me now is like if I feel like I got to put off to a shoulder, I feel like I got to pull off to the farthest point of the shoulder because I don't want somebody riding up the shoulder to hit me. So like I'll either go up to like certain points on like Kenilworth Avenue where you gotta go up and there's that space by the metro where you can get all the way over. I'll take that as opposed to pulling over on the side of the road because I just don't think somebody will see me. And that's the crazy part.
Oh man, fellas, we got a lot more to get to, and it's hard. It's just you never want to have these type of conversations. You don't, and I just I don't even know what to say. But rest in peace, Kyrie, Isaiah, and AJ. Uh, I condolences to their families, man, and that's most importantly. I mean, when death hits, don't be the person that calls every day the first week because it's not gonna really hit until sometimes 2 weeks, a month later. Be that person that's still calling the family 3-4 months later. Just to
So
check in. Hey, how you feeling?
so this is my stance. I always tell people because I did a piece on this um under the alias of Fat Poet, but we talk about silence, and like everybody's always around somebody when death happens, but the moment that body goes into the ground, everybody disappears. So the silence happens after you put that body in the ground. And I'm not saying this to be extra somber or to do anything, but it's just like you don't know what somebody's going through until that person is actually gone and everybody's gone away. That's when you got to be more present than anything else. And if that doesn't resonate, then you got to think about it. But your presence matters more after the fact than before the fact of burying that body.
I think this is probably one of the heaviest ones we had to do. But
sure, local kid, good kid, man, and it seems like that kid was on his way, and for it to be something like this, it's just like it tugs our heartstrings because, I mean, we're three guys, we all got sons, and like we're looking at I looked at my son this morning. And even though he came down here and spouted some bullshit about me buying Madden because I was trying to duck some conflict with him, but we'll save that for everything else for the after show. But I look at him every time. I look at him every moment because I don't know what my moments are with him, and I know you guys do the same thing. And I'm not trying to get emotional or just like. As dads, we are involved, but B, it's just the thing where I know for a fact, I pray to God every day that I don't know a day that my son exists or doesn't exist without me. Like, I want him to die first. I mean, I want me to die first. I'm sorry. I'll say it the right way. Like, I don't want to know a day where he's not on this earth and I'm taking a breath. And that's the only way I can say it. And I apologize for messing it up earlier, but yeah, I don't want to know a day we're taking a breath and he's not here.
Agreed. 100%.
Yep. All right, fellas.
Let's go.
We got to jump into this because if we don't, we're going to be all day. Midnight Rider asked the question earlier in the week.
Ever.
Who ruined the Warriors dynasty in Golden State? I have my opinions. He has his.
You go first.
No. I'll let the boss.
No. My opinion doesn't matter until you state your opinion. That's why I need you to go first.
I'll go first.
I need Bossman to go first.
I'll go first.
Let B go first.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Go second.
Let me tell you who I feel ruined the Warriors dynasty, because I say it on this show all the time when we're talking about GMs and this, that, and the other. They never, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they never drafted to move on from Steph, Clay, and Draymond. They drafted to get them people, drafted or made trades to get them pieces to help them continue to win championships, right? And nothing's wrong with that. But this is something I always say, and I'll stand on this hill by myself. At some point, you have to cut it off because it's not going to last forever. And I think Clay should have been gone a couple seasons ago when he actually had some trade value. You can go get another Draymond Green. You can go get another Force. Steph is generational, right? You can ride his wave as long as you can. But they never drafted to have a Klay Thompson replacement, have a Draymond. They're putting pieces together now because they never drafted. Their initial draft going to get Steph, going to get Klay, going to get Draymond. They hit the home run. But then just like, we talk about with football all the time, you have to have guys in your rotation that are ready to take that next step up. And I think in Golden State, what happened is, even if you had those guys, even if it was Jordan Poole or whatever, they never got a chance to step up because Steph is in the way, Clay is in the way, Draymond's in the way. It's still their team. So I'm going to blame this on the front office for not planning. Hey, what year is Steph Curry in? What year is he in?
Year 12, 13, something like that.
12, 13.
Something like that.
12, 13. And Clay is not too far behind him, and Dre, they all about the same. So are we really expecting this team at 12, your superstars 12, 13 years in, that you know they're going to step off? Everybody's step off is different. That's like LeBron's going. You could tell his step is off, but everybody's step off is different. And it just so happened that Klay Thompson stepped off the face of the earth, and he's still falling. So you have to anticipate the drop off, and I don't think they did. They did with their role players, they did with their support cast, but they never, not with the stars. And you got to know when to move on. That's my take on it, my opinion.
Well, my opinion is probably a conventional one, but unpopular. Matty Ice said Cleveland and LeBron ruined the dynasty. Oh, I like that. But I tend to disagree because I believe Draymond Green ruined the dynasty. Here's why I say Draymond Green. Draymond Green caused a lot of friction. Now, granted, Kevin Durant came over. He made the move to a 73-9 team that just beat him in the playoffs. They won 2 more championships. Now, mind you, 2016, 73-9 sounds great, but 72-10 got a ring to it. That's all I'm saying. But,
oh boy, here we go.
Greatest team ever.
Come on with the Bulls. Come on.
Let me go. Kevin Durant comes over, wins 2 championships with these fellas, 2 finals MVPs. Draymond Green makes it hostile. It was a game. I want to say it was a game against, I can't remember. I just seen the clip yesterday. The rebound comes down. The play is down to the final seconds of the game. The play is for the rebound to come, get it to KD, get the fuck out the way, let him go score. Get it to Steph, get the fuck out the way, let him score. Get it to Clay, get the fuck out the way, let him score. You got to get it to one of your 3 scores. Draymond takes the rebound off the rim, runs up the court, runs into a trap, loses the ball, game over. And he's hollering, coming back to the bench. He's screaming, all of that. And he goes off on KD because he's not getting the shots. You're not a shooter, Draymond. You are a facilitator and a rebounder. You're not a splash brother. You're not a shooter. That's not your job. Then what happens after that? KD walks away and he mouths the words, "That's why I'm out." Draymond says to KD, "We don't need you here." Even if that was a true statement and that's how you felt, you don't say that to somebody that's supposed to be your teammate. You don't say that to that's like me saying to Midnight Rider, "Yeah, this show's great, but we don't need you here. We was winning before you. We don't need you here."
Shit.
How fucked up of me is that to say to you? We supposed to be a community. We supposed to be family, but I just told you we don't need you.
Right. I get that.
Like, then on top of that, the whole thing with Jordan Poole, as a grown man, and it's going to come times where you're going to have situations with people you work with, people you're close with. Y'all going to have a point in time where they're going to get the best of you. You may get the best of them mostly, but they're going to get the best of you. You got to let that roll off your back and say, "Ha ha, all right, I got you on the next one." Whatever Jordan Poole said couldn't have been as bad that you had to punch him in the face. Now, I don't know what was said. Nobody really knows what was said. It's speculation, but nobody knows what was said. Now, Jordan Poole was supposed to be your future. He was supposed to take over the reins. Like now Clay's gone. He was supposed to step into that role, and Wiggins and Wiseman. But Draymond kind of messed all of that up by punching him because they couldn't get rid of Draymond. They had to get rid of Poole. For all the talent that Draymond Green has, he destroyed the dynasty. And if you look at every dynasty, every NBA dynasty, sometimes they crumble because of age. Sometimes they crumble because of the front office. Sometimes they crumble because of a player. This is one time where they crumble because of a player. It's all about Draymond being the player that ruined the Warriors dynasty. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Nick Wright. I feel like I just said some stuff that just was like really off the wall, but cool, but not. But I digress. Midnight Rider.
Yeah. So I'm actually a little mad at B because B kind of stole my thunder. That's where I'm at. Like, I think the Warriors had a moment and had a situation with draft picks and opportunities where they failed themselves. And I'm blaming the front office over Draymond.
That's why I love the Midnight Rider. That's why I love the Midnight Rider.
Because I don't think that their problem was players. Their problem was who they acquired. And we do this all the time in dynasties. Like we settle on somebody as the bad guy. But the bad guy isn't Draymond. Even though he's the bad guy, he's not the bad guy. And the problem was we drafted what? Jonathan Kuminga, right? And that was a bust. You drafted, what's the kid you drafted there too? Wiseman? He's a bust. That's where you failed. You can't have the second and seventh pick overall in the midst of a dynasty and then blame the players in the dynasty for the dynasty not working. If I'm picking second or I'm picking seventh, if I pick those players got to be home runs. They gotta push us forward. That's the whole point of having them, because most dynasties aren't in that format or in that place to even have that opportunity. You name me a team that won a championship and has the second and seventh pick in the drafts the 2 years following them winning the championships. You can't name one. It doesn't happen. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably gonna go back to 1945 and like somebody took somebody, or like the Celtics with Bird because they traded Joe Barry Carroll for Kevin McHale and something else or whatever. I get that. Go ahead, KJ. You're on mute. Can't talk to me on mute.
I was gonna say the Celtics have done it. The Lakers have done it. It's happened.
Yeah, but
they hit on theirs. They hit on theirs.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't have those picks. And if you don't hit, that's where you fail. You didn't fail because Draymond Green stole that Bama in the locker room, or on the court. That's not where you fail. You fail because Kuminga hasn't produced anything. Marcus Moody didn't produce anything, or you didn't allow him to produce anything. Like, your picks have failed. That's where the failure is in this whole situation. But everybody wants to make it like, oh, Draymond. No, Draymond's not the bane of the Golden State Warriors' existence. The Golden State Warriors' existence has failed because the front office failed with their great opportunities to maximize what they had.
And look, I said earlier, Steph is generational. And, that lightning in a bottle is hard to capture again, right? But when your failure is across the board to rebuild your teams, and like I said, they maybe Draymond should have been gone instead of Poole. You can find another guy that does what Draymond does. And I'm not blaming. Draymond is the face of the problem, but he's not the problem. He's the guy taking all the punches. He's not the issue, though. The issue is upstairs in the Golden State Warriors front office because they failed. If we go back to the games, the crucial games that the Golden State Warriors lost over the year, guess what? Klay Thompson's the reason because Klay Thompson can't hit nothing. So Klay Thompson, that's what I'm saying. And I said this in my initial rant. Klay Thompson, they should have moved on from Klay Thompson a couple years back when he had a little bit more value. This is a business. You're going to send a thank you letter out anyway. You're going to retire his jersey anyway. This is a business. You're not in the business to make friends. You're in business to win games. You have to ruffle feathers. You have to make people unhappy. Your fan base is going to be unhappy. If you traded Klay away 2 years ago, Draymond, the fan base would have been unhappy as hell until they doing another championship parade and they would have forgot all about it. That's what you have to remember. At the end of the day, the championship parade is like the toilet for the bad stuff. It flushes it all away. And you got the Blue Magic 2000 in there. It cleans the toilet up. It looks nice and sparkly. It smells good. Everybody's forgot about it. The bathroom smells good. That is what it's about. It's about championships. But when you don't make the moves you're supposed to make, now the toilet's clogged. Now nobody can't go to the bathroom. Everybody, it stinks. Now everybody's unhappy. This is a failure on the Warriors front office. I can't say it no clearer. If in my personal opinion, when did they win their last championship?
22.
22. 22. I would have had to do a Krause and break some people up. Klay would have had to go. And I say that. Let me tell you where I'm coming from when I say that. I hate Jerry Krause. I hated Jerry Krause. I hated Jerry Krause with a passion. But just now saying that, my brain connected a wire. Be like, sometimes things are necessary. I would have exited from Klay. I would have let Klay go then, or Draymond go then. They could have been building and what is his name? Jonathan Kuma. What is his name? Kuminga and the other boy. Oh, that's the name I had in my head and I wasn't trying to say. But if you move on from one of those guys, and I said this before Midnight Rider said, nobody had a chance to step up to prove. You can't prove you can't go to your ceiling if you're stuck in a room with a 6-foot ceiling. You got to go outside and be able to fly. None of these guys.
Whoa! Say it again. You probably don't even know what you just said.
I said, if you're stuck in a room with a 4-foot ceiling, you can't go nowhere. You got to go outside so you can fly.
Yo, that's a t-shirt.
You have to go outside so you can fly. Those guys that drafted still in the room.
Yeah.
Jumping and touching. They ain't even got to jump to touch the ceiling. They just putting their hand up and touching the ceiling. They've never been outside. So you don't know what you got. They never got a chance to flourish. You win that championship. You realize what's that 2 years ago? So we're talking about 10, 11 years on your main players. That's when you gotta be like, yeah, we some things gotta, we gotta move on from some stuff, and they could be in a way better position than what they are now. But that's me. I'm not a GM. I just play one on PlayStation 5.
Matty Ice said, "What if just Father Time ruined the dynasty?" I think it has something to do with Father Time.
No.
But that goes back to the point we're making.
Right,
that's the front office.
And
the problem is, and like B has said this so eloquently, and KG has been so reluctant to say is because KG is so in love with time and things that are happening where. The problem with this Golden State situation is Golden State didn't look forward enough. They took Kuminga, they took whoever else they took, and those guys failed. And they didn't have a plan beyond that. So that's where this dynasty died. This dynasty died at the apex of their opportunity. You can't have the second pick in the draft and the seventh pick, and then those guys not produce for you.
True.
Like you got to hit on that. Like I said that when they had the opportunity, I was like, either you hit on that person, or you make the move to get out of that space and find the person that's going to help you continue on this dynasty. That's why the Warriors failed. The Warriors didn't fail, or I mean, they partially failed because Steph also was he a one-time NBA MVP in the finals? I mean, they probably failed because of that also, but I don't want to go into that. But yeah.
Here's the thing. They had a lot of turnover in the front office. You had Jerry West in the front office, which helped build this dynasty. Then you got Bob Myers. Bob Myers stepped down, and now you have Mike Dunleavy Jr. And yeah, he's done little of nothing.
Who's I think
what is he gonna do?
Isn't Walton, the baby Walton is the GM now, right?
Hold on. I thought Dunleavy Jr. was out there.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it is. It's Dunleavy Jr. That's what it is. And then Dunleavy Jr.'s Spain, they lost Jordan Poole because he traded them, and they had a couple other moves that are all like on this strand on Facebook. But the problem isn't. The problem isn't those moves. The problem is they didn't have the foresight to take the second pick or the seventh pick and turn those into something else.
Yep.
Like you don't need young guys. What you need is somebody to help you push this forward. And that's the thinking, or that's where I thought they messed up. And maybe they thought because we drafted these two young guys, we can get better in the moment. But I think they could have gotten better in the moment by making that draft capital options for their future.
And Draymond Green Draymond Green doesn't do anything special. You can ship great Draymond Green and go get a Morris brother. That's it's no drop off there. It is no drop off there from Draymond Green to a Morris brother, especially on a winning team.
I'm gonna push back on that just because I think Draymond fits what they do, and they have certain luxuries inside their offense, inside the way they design their plays, where Draymond fits better. So I can't give Morris, and this is probably the coach part of me, where I'm like, I don't exactly agree with you on that, B. And I understand that's where that's coming from.
Is it safe to say that the Warriors did the same thing that the 90s Cowboys did? You have a dynasty, but you didn't prepare for when the stars got older.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yes and no, because you don't have a meddling owner. You don't have an owner that because if you listen to Troy Aikman, why he left, that's not what's going on with the Warriors. The Warriors just didn't prepare for the future. They thought they did, but in order to prepare for the future, you got to clear the attic, and they never cleaned the attic out. The attic is still, they just lost a piece in the attic with Clay gone, but that piece. One of those pieces, everybody except Steph was untouchable on that team. Steph is untouchable. I think I said that right. Everybody else can go. You can replace, and I understand what the Midnight Rider is saying. I can replace Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not. You can go get another shooter. Klay Thompson is not super athletic. He's not shutting nobody down on defense. He's a spot shooter. Where am I going to find another spot shooter at? I'm going to draft him at number 2 or number 7. Where am I going to find another defensive enforcer and enforcer for a team? And I understand where Midnight Rider's coming from, where Draymond allows them certain things. This is where you got to have a coach in Steve Kerr, which everybody thinks he is, that can adjust. All right, you can't do what Draymond do, but you have certain similarities. I can run you at 80%. That's good enough. Let's go. You're never going to find an exact match. You're going to find similarities. You hope that your Draymond 2.0 is bigger, stronger, faster, or actually can shoot, or actually can dribble, or actually it maybe is more fierce on the defense because his athleticism. You're always trying to get when you as a GM, you're always trying to find you have your core players in your head throughout your career. Like whoever drafted Lawrence Taylor, you're always looking for Lawrence Taylor. You're never going to find him because he's a generational talent. But once you drafted Lawrence and you've seen him play, now you know I'm looking for this, and this guy. He has, out of these 10 qualities I look for out of Lawrence Taylor, he has 5 of them. You know, or he has 6 of them, 7, or he has 2. You get and that's part of your GM career. You're looking for your next Steph Curry. You know what you were looking for in date when he was at Davidson. And you kind of know what to pick up on now. And you're like, this kid looks, I remember seeing this. So.
Matty Ice says the Pats dynasty ending worse. Hall of Fame coach Ego wanted to prove he could do it without Brady, and the owner let him.
Yes and no. I think everything has its course. And I think the problem right now for the Patriots is you'll never get that same level of electricity and greatness because you don't win 5, 6 championships, 7 championships in a run. Like you might win 1 or 2, but you're not going to win 6 or 7. So I think their outcome or they can never get to that point ever again where they're winning 7 championships in 20 years or whatever the time span is.
And the NFL is different. When you have a quarterback like that that has that championship pedigree and still has gas left, you have to let him go until it's a Ben Roethlisberger situation where it's hard to watch him play, where he can't make them throw. The NFL is a different animal. Because the quarterback makes the team move, and then sometimes you just don't know until you get to that one game, or the divisional game, or the game on the line to get to the playoffs, and you can see that quarterback just doesn't have it anymore. That's when you have to move on. Brady probably could have won them 2 more championships, at least, because he already had his structure there, the type of players and coaching, the system and everything there. He probably could have got them 2 more. So that's something the Patriots fans going to have to live with. I didn't want to see it, damn it, but.
Well, we got to run through all this real quick because I want to be able to use this. That's my line now. I want to be able to use this. So can we agree and say that we can agree and say that it's a combination of the front office, not putting pieces in place for the run, and then it's also Draymond Green.
No.
JoJo says, nah, man, just think they both needed a change and no, he couldn't. Brady didn't know what he wanted to do. B, how much time you got?
I got a jet now.
Okay. I wanted to get you. Well, let me do this real quick. Let's jump to this real quick. Talking NBA Summer League real quick. All eyes were on Las Vegas over the weekend. Bronny James played his first game. I think he was 2 for 9 from the field. And what's the other draft pick? The first round draft pick, Connect.
Yes.
I think he was 4 for 12, and they was like, oh, he got garbage time buckets. But B, before you go, are you putting any stock in Bronny James's Summer League debut at all?
No, because he's the number 55 pick. The number 55 pick. He's a number 55 pick. And this is the downfall to the media we have today. Because remember back in the day when I forgot when they first started, you know, showing the summer leagues games on TV, you didn't have as much access and coverage. And this is just, it's just pathetic that we are combing through with a fine tooth comb, like in Spaceballs in the desert,
Mhm.
that we're combing
Man,
through
we ain't found. I'm sorry.
we are combing through summer league games. Let me say this: summer league come on, go pop you some popcorn, go get you a cold beer out the fridge, and sit
Mhm.
down and just enjoy some basketball and enjoy watching some young players play and see what they bring to the table and watch them grow their game. Watch, just enjoy it and enjoy these pieces, enjoy these kids because you got people on these teams that are fighting for their life,
Mhm.
trying to make a roster spot. So you get to see another level of play. You get to see, and I don't want to say the NBA guys don't play hard, but they don't all the time. But you're not going to see that here. You get to see the throttle wide open. You know what I'm saying, on the expressway. So enjoy it. Sit back. You know, if you're the big guy, KG, go get you an O'Doul's. You
All
know,
right.
and just enjoy the summer league. All this, Bronny was 2 for 9, and the first round draft pick had
But
got it. Just stop.
can I say I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. I'm gonna tell I told people this last night on the All In Sports thing. Bronny's going to be the worst summer league player you ever watched, and the reason he's going to be that is because he plays basketball the right way. So these cats coming out here trying to jack shots and get opportunities, they gonna make him look bad during this process. So I know how much you want to blame Bronny or put it as nepotism. He's not going to be his best self in this next couple of weeks as you watch him play some league basketball. Go ahead, KG.
Fellas, I
Uh,
gotta jump, fellas. It was a
All right, man.
pleasure, and I will talk to y'all in a little bit.
all right.
All right.
All right,
Uh,
KG. You got to keep us in the point where we can use this material.
all right. So we're going rapid fire in a second.
Okay.
But Bronny James and Summer League, I agree with what you're saying. Now everybody's looking at Bryce. Now, oh, look at what Bryce is doing in high school. Let these kids be kids.
All right.
And I think Bronny will be all right. He has to learn the speed of the game. And I'm not saying he's going to make the roster, but I think he'll go down to G League for a season. He'll be fine. Just like Ron Harper's son, Scottie Pippen's son. Nobody complained about those kids. Nobody complained about Sharif O'Neal. Nobody complained about these kids getting spots on teams their dads used to play for.
All right.
So let's not even do that. But it is what it is. Let's go rapid fire because we got maybe about 15 minutes. Matt says Matty Ice's Spaceball is an underrated comedy. That it is.
It's one of the
Uh,
greatest comedies.
he said I watched zero point 0.0 summer league ball in my life, and Bronny being in it isn't changing that. I can't remember the
You
last
know
time I
what? But
watched
if
summer
there
league.
was somebody else that we had cultivated over the course of basketball, like we did Caitlin Clark, then he would be invested in it. Like the problem is that they're on a men's level, there's no cultivation of the talent that like where we see these guys in these moments. We don't see we don't get a chance to see uh let's say Saché or whatever his name is um from France. Like we don't see them in the NCAA tournament a year, and then the next year we see them um, move on beyond whatever point in the tournament. Like that's the difference. The difference is we don't have that opportunity to build that's the word, to build a relationship with the basketball players that are in our lives. Go ahead.
Agreed. I can't remember. I remember we covered early on, and Out of bounds days, we covered summer league. Like Big Jim was big on summer league, and it was guys he was more interested in watching. And he would come in with names and be like, "Hey, watch this guy, and this guy." Okay, that's who we keep our eye on and we'll update. It's nobody in the summer league right now that's rookie wise that I'm really looking at like that. So
because we don't have that attachment.
no.
Let's go to the next one.
All right, rapid fire. WNBA. Caitlin Clark notches the first triple double by a rookie. Angel Reese has become a rebounding fool. A lot of people say she's creating her own rebound. I don't care what the narrative is. The girl getting rebounds, and she's getting boards, and both of them are all stars. Quickly, Midnight Rider. What's your thoughts on Caitlin Clark? And
Caitlin Clark's teammates finally realized that they can catch a basketball, so that's why she's in the triple double, and I think she's gonna have more triple doubles because of that. Angel Reese, I saw the narrative, and I have to say, part of my struggles with being a consistent watcher of women's basketball is that, like, when they make plays, it doesn't look like it doesn't look good. The aesthetics for me, when I watch the WNBA, I struggle with. And no matter how much everybody tells me, oh, they're good, they're this, they're that, yeah. On my TV don't always agree with everybody else telling me how good it is. So I'll leave it at that.
I still think that the WNBA can go different and advertise more, but we got the Olympics coming up, and that's where a lot of exposure is going to come for the WNBA. They got to show women's basketball in the Olympics, as well as men's basketball in the Olympics.
They got to make the easy plays be easy, and not make them look hard. That's the part. If they make the layups that they're supposed to make, we'll appreciate them at a higher level. That's all I'm gonna say.
Agreed. And the thing is, they keep bringing up this narrative of, oh, this is probably the greatest assembly of talent in Olympic history on the men's side. Stop. You'll never beat 11 Hall of Famers and one college kid. You'll never beat I think a 55-point win advantage. Please stop with the greatest assembly of talent. Stop with, oh, this team will beat the Redeem team. This team will beat the Dream team. You wouldn't. And this goes to Shaquille O'Neal too. He talking about Dream Team 2, which was the FIBA championship in '94, would beat Dream Team 1. No, it wouldn't. Stop it. So I'm just really like, hey, cut it out. Matty Ice says, with it being in France, that would be easy to show live. Just have to get up early. I hope so. Because last two Olympics, it's been trash, man. I ain't been able to watch much basketball at all. It comes on so late.
Parlez-vous français?
4 years of French, and I still can speak a little bit of it.
Je m'appelle Ben. That's all I got.
Midnight Rider
Makusa.
I don't think that's French. Okay. Were the Nationals being stubborn or patient? Midnight Rider, that's all you.
They were being stubborn. So the plan was to try to get like a guy like Nick Senzel, a guy like Jesse Winker, and all these guys to be trade pieces for them to move forward. And unfortunately, I think they stuck too long to that narrative. They're at a point right now where they're a team that's struggling, but they're not struggling because they're a bad team. They're struggling because the guys that they have in place just don't create enough offense. So they moved Joey Meneses, I guess a couple of days ago, and brought up Yepes. They moved off of Senzel last night and brought up Lipscomb. I thought personally that Senzel, once he hurt his finger, I was done with him. And that was opening day weekend. I thought this team should have gone with Lipscomb because he can steal bags. And he gives you another side of offense that maybe you don't have because you don't hit home runs as a team. You don't score enough. So you got to create your scoring opportunities. So I thought a kid like Lipscomb was able to give you the opportunity. I think also this team has a situation where they got to get rid of somebody in their bullpen because their A bullpen is good. But the problem is they rely on their A bullpen too much, way too much. And the rotation has been good. But the problem is, like Jake Irvin right now is your ace of your bullpen. DJ Hurst has shown out, but the problem is you don't give him run support. So you got these guys that are giving you great pitching opportunities and great situations, but you can't score enough because you've held one of the guys that can't hit the baseball. So that's the problem I have right now with the Nats. And they're finally at that point where I guess they said enough is enough. And they're starting to bring these guys up and starting to let these guys have the opportunity. But I feel like they waited probably 2 or 3 weeks too long for that to happen.
Matty Ice said Nats have a playoff type starting rotation very soon. They just need consistent bats.
Yep.
Here's a question. Sticking with baseball real quick. Are the Orioles for real?
What do you mean are? I don't even know why you're questioning me. I feel like you're insulting my baseball intelligence by questioning me on this. The Orioles are going to be there. No, I'm messing with you, KG. I'm messing with you. The Orioles are there. They're so big. They're built so good. Their problem is figuring out ways to get everybody at bats because of the people they have. And I think truly they need to make a move to get them somebody else. Like if they have holes in their pitching staff, this is the time to fill it because they have the hitters. They have the potential. They have all of it. And all they got to do is make a move here and there to make their road to the playoffs and road to the World Series solidified by just being aggressive enough. You don't have to be overly aggressive. You just got to be aggressive enough to add the right pieces. And if they add the right pieces, like I said before, I think the Orioles are going to be in this mix for the next 10 years just because of how good their team and their talent is. Go ahead, KJ.
No, because I can't argue with it.
I'm telling you, it's the Orioles are in one of the best spots in the team in baseball. And I think the Nats are probably in like the 10th best spot because I think the Nats can be a very good ball club. They have enough outfield help where maybe they move an outfielder here or there. So they move off of a guy like Lane Thomas and you make way for Dylan Cruz. And that way the Nats get better because of who they get from Lane Thomas. I mean, we're talking about a team that moved Jameer Candelaro and got the kid DJ Hurst. And the kid DJ Hurst pitches today. But Hurst has had 3 or 4 appearances where he's had 10 or more strikeouts. But you got that from some dude that you wasted. You basically gave him $2.5 million just to be like an add-on. Like Rizzo has done his thing. Like the early Rizzo thing was he got Tanner Roark from like the Chicago Cubs for a trade. Like I think people that harp on Rizzo's inability to build a bullpen, Jeff Neal, don't see the fact that he's done so many other things outside of that, Jeff Neal.
Okay. Matty Ice said O's and Gauls are the same team. They both need a starter.
Yep.
Or even 2. Problem is not a lot of teams out of it yet to add starters.
Right. So you can't get a National League player because everybody's in the mix. Go ahead, KG.
All right, last but not least, what you eating?
So I think the intention of the menu today was to be spaghetti. Chopping up an onion, chopping up what's left for the peppers. But the real meal was yesterday. So yesterday I tried to recreate the fajita thing that you get from what's the place? Sylvester's. So I did chopped chunks of chicken, shrimp. I did my onions and peppers, and I put that in the thing. And instead of doing like a fajita, the only thing I couldn't like top it off with was I couldn't find in the Safeway I was at. I couldn't find like yum yum sauce or something like that.
In the national section.
I went in there. I didn't see it, bro.
Don't tell me you went to
that was like the only
Avenue.
thing. That was like the it was like the Luther curl. Like I had it just didn't curl right. Yeah.
Don't tell me you went to Safeway or Alabama Avenue.
No.
Okay.
So like my choices Safeway are simple. Like whenever I pick him up, I'm always going to the one right there by his house. And if they don't have it, they don't have it. But I need to just what's the word? I need to just be exclusive to the one on Kentucky Avenue because that's where I get the best food and the best options.
Everybody has their store. And if you go to Sylvester's, get the burrito.
Nah, dog. The best joint is it's the fajita. You get, and this is where everybody gets lost at. You get the rice and the fries.
You got to be careful with the fries, depending on which one you order from, because we only order from the one on Silver Hill Road. You got to be careful with the fries. Yeah, they'll put plantains in there.
I want the steak fries, and then all I do is pour all the sauces. Whatever I get, I just pour all the sauce in, mix it up like it's almost like a jambalaya, and we just go from there.
See, I do the same thing with the yellow rice.
Yep. So speaking of that, that's what I used last night. I used yellow rice, the shrimp, the chicken, and all that.
Okay, that's about right. I take all the sauces.
And I thought about it. I thought about cooking fries, like taking the crinkle cuts and adding that to the mix, but I didn't. All because I didn't have the yum yum or some kind of sauce to like take it over the top.
Why you didn't call me? I could have gave you a great sub. Why don't you call?
Because, dog, I live. All gas, no brakes.
Yeah, I get that, but all you got to do is pick up the phone. You can send me a voice message. Hey, I can't find yum yum sauce. What else could I use? Give me an idea.
I got you.
I'm in the cabinet.
We all cook like it's like Chop season 3, and we in the finale.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Now, this is why I say try the burrito. We ordered one night, and we ordered like 2 family meals, some fried cabbages off the chain. But I had a burrito. The burrito was so big, it took me 2 sittings to eat it.
I got you.
Now, Sylvester's is here. Kachi's on in Camp Springs, right there.
Okay.
So check out Kachi's too. Matty Ice said pizza oven coming out for homemade wood-fired pizzas and fresh tomatoes and basil from the garden and fresh mozzarella.
That's tough. Can't
so if we gotta count it, what is it? 6 hours from here to Matty Ice?
Yeah. We might have to get in the car, dog.
If we leave now, we can be there by dinner time.
Actually, nah. You gotta think about it. We got Independence Day traffic. 4th of July traffic is gonna make us. We probably gonna get there till 8, and then we ain't gonna get back here till like 4 in the morning. So that I don't think that's a good ride.
Well, we can call in tomorrow and say we got anal glaucoma.
Whoa.
Because I don't see my ass
My
coming
ass
to work. But for us, we're having pork chops, corn on the cob, either greens or broccoli.
Okay.
And I think my wife is making a cake to go with it. I think she's gonna make a cake. And look, Matty Ice already said, "Come on over." See?
Yeah, nah, dog. We good, Matty Ice.
Nah, I know we good. Look,
okay.
If I got gas, I don't even need snacks. If I got gas, let's go. Let's ride. That's nothing but a ride, man. I went to when I was training for Helen Hunt Motors, and I had to go to sales school. I went out into Toledo, Sylvania area, and I wanted to drive, but instead they flew me out. They didn't let me drive. They flew me out. So, but when I tell you, I have no problem. I got no problem. I drove from Toledo to Canton, which is about, with no tolls, it's 3 hours. I did that on a Saturday morning and went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and then circled back around and went back. And I went back the long way going back. All right, time to wrap that up, B.
Yeah. We at that point.
What we got going on this week? We got of course we got WNBA. What else do we have?
NBA
sports-wise, outside of that, in baseball.
We got the finals of the Copa European and the internet. I'm sorry, the Americas part of it with South America and North America. You got those finals coming up soon. We can talk about how many minutes we got? We got 3 minutes left. So USA basically screwed the pooch because there's no way American soccer should lose to Panama ever in a competitive series when it comes to soccer. And because the jackasses did, and then had to face Uruguay and try to figure out how to pass Uruguay by winning against Uruguay, which Uruguay was probably the best team in the from this side of the country or Americas. Plus the fact that these guys don't play enough together, and for some reason America doesn't understand that concept, because like the one thing we learned from Team USA with basketball is you got to make these guys play together. And I know I got like a minute and 20 seconds left, so I'm gonna kill this real quick. The fact that you have the coach you have means you're fucking idiots. The end.
Matty Ice said next year when the guards are back in DC, we're heading to a game together. Right there. I'm there. I'm there. Because I'm trying to get these guys out the games now. I'm trying to get them to Commanders games and Baltimore Oriole games and Nats games.
Never watching the Orioles game live.
Okay. And Matty Ice says he's 40 minutes from Canton. Hey, if I got to go back to Ohio on business,
just hit Matty up.
Of course I am. And hopefully they send me on the weekend like they normally do. Hey, Matty Ice, it's Saturday, baby. I know you cooking out. Let's go.
All right, let's get out of here.
I'm going to Matty Ice's house to eat, man.
Let's go.
All right. So we will be back on Tuesday for the Tuesday night flight. But until then, for the boss BJ, that's the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy KG. Y'all know the motto.
The gentleman Jack Carr is on assignment.
The gentleman Jack Carr is on assignment. That is true. That is absolutely true. We will see him on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
So until then, that's the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy KG. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We are out of here.